Okay, so this work is titled Dissolve. The participants, or the viewers, are invited to wear one of the helmets, one of these 6 helmets, and explore the 2 gallery spaces. The 2 spaces are quite sparse, so the emphasis of the work really is the audio and how that alters our perception of space. There are 3 different audios within the work, so they all essentially deal with ideas of body consciousness, perception, things like mind control, and movement is a key element. So via the audio, people are encouraged to move through the space, yet there's potentially moments where they may stop and wonder, should I be following this absent voice, this unknown entity that's directing me? Am I being controlled? So it explores also, I guess, the sense of the gallery being this space where there are expectations of how we behave in a gallery context. And traditionally the sense of look, don't touch, with visual works and objects. So I guess with a lot of my work I encourage the audience to touch and to move through space. Things like focusing on these senses like hearing, touch, movement. They're all quite near senses, as opposed to the very distant visual senses. So for me, they encourage more of an intimate experience, which is something that I try to do with my work.
3, 2. Without gravity, your skeleton becomes fluid, swirling throughout your body. At the count of 1, you will disappear. 1.
So these are the helmets. They're quite simple forms, and I considered quite a lot of the sculptural element of them. In this work, as a complete whole, there are obvious influences of minimalism, the light and space movement, and also cinema. So I guess what I'm trying to do with those, the minimalist tools of abstraction and purity, rather than creating these cold impersonal spaces, I'm trying to insert a more human element into it. And so by inviting the audience to wear these helmets, I'm providing them this private space, really, for them to walk around and have a very individual experience. The idea of having the 3 different audios was very important to me, as it amplifies that idea of the subjective experience. So producing these two spaces, I was really conscious about the implied purity of the gallery space, and I wanted to work with that and avoid as much as possible inserting anything that was visually representational, and realizing that that's completely impossible in a world where we are flooded by visual images and associations can just be made to pretty much everything. Even the idea of nothingness and absence, there's just a plethora of associations. But in terms of medium, in a lot of my work I work with light, space, and audio. There's sort of three key elements that run throughout my work. And the reason I choose these mediums is because they're all quite bodily mediums, and they create a really strong atmosphere that can be mesmerizing, but it can also be disorientating, all three of them. If the idea of building a wall, just inserting that simple intervention of a wall in the gallery space can have an instant effect on the way that a person experiences a space. Perhaps if they've experienced the space in its original format, or even coming to it afresh. I guess this room in particular has probably more of the associations with cinema and video art. It's that idea of this bright light coming at you, whereas normally you would walk into a space like this and expect to see some kind of moving image. But this is just asking the viewer to be slow and reflect on what they're experiencing within their private space in the moment. And it also creates an interesting visual element for someone who's not wearing a helmet that might walk into the space and see people interacting with the space and this odd sphere, mini world sitting on their head, which is also white and fits quite nicely with the purity of the space.
What can I do or think about specifically right now that would help me create and manifest my desires most quickly and easily?
I've already created them, and they don't need to come fast. And if I will chill out, they will come easily. You see, there are some things in your question that we would like to massage. We don't want you to ask for things to be quick and easy because they're hard and slow. And almost everybody who says, how can I get it quicker and easier, is saying it because it's going hard and slow. And so we want to start by saying, accept that what we've been talking about here today, that everything you want is there, and that it is easy if you will let yourself go with the flow, and that it is only hard when you don't. So the answer to your question is just try to find better feeling thoughts which cause you to turn. And when you do, it will feel better, it will be easier, and it will be as quick as it can be. The only thing that keeps it from being quick is turning back this way, turning back this way, turning back this way, because the stream is flowing, and the stream is flowing fast. And the harder it has been for me, or it's felt like it has been for me, the faster my stream is going. So the faster the stream means the quicker results, yes? So I got a fast-moving stream that are full of the results that I'm looking for, and the only thing that's slowing it down